My name's Adele Onyango and welcome to another episode of Legally Clueless. No, seriously, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Hey you, welcome to episode 92 of Legally Clueless. Wow. It even feels so crazy saying that, but anyway, I'm super excited that you're listening to this podcast. And if this is your first time, welcome to the tribe. Join us on Instagram at Legally Clueless Podcast. And if you want to chit chat about the podcast, I love eavesdropping. So on Twitter, use the hashtag Legally Clueless. If you have been part of the tribe from the get-go, we're almost at 100 episodes. Oh my word. I'm so excited about it. And as we inch closer to that 100th episode, I'll tell you more about how we'll celebrate. So this episode features a story that I recorded a couple of months ago that has everything to do with remaining true to yourself, especially as a creative, handling rejection, and so many other insights. Listen to this.
When I go to school, I rap for guys. I rap Nazizi's verse. Every Saturday we go there, we write songs, we rap. We are like so many kids from Kasarani, Kayole, Mathare, Huruma. We used to call ourselves Islandos. So I've really grown up knowing my mom, you know. Our dad died in 97. I was 3 years. So I went to boarding school. So I used to be given so much money. Yani nilikuwa na do. Nikifunga shule naenda na shopping home. After 1 year, I got a Facebook message from King Kaka. When I get shows, anxiety kicks in. What if I perform vibaya? What if people boo me? And you get these negative thoughts. I was featured in a song. I did the video, I did the verse, and they pulled out my verse in that song because I was the only person doing it in Sheng. You understand that people not liking you, it's not on you. It's not your burden to carry.
So that's a story by Femi One. She is a rapper from here in Kenya, and you'll hear the story a little later in this episode. I am recording this episode at like 9:30 p.m. because I figured this is the only way I can avoid the noise from the neighborhood kids. They're so irritatingly loud. You know, my best friend Val, she lives in an apartment block where kids are not allowed, and I never understood it. But now, now I get it. The kids in this hood are so loud. It is so irritating. And what's even more irritating is that they're so innocent. They're just doing what kids do, but it's y'all. But anyway, they're silent now. And it's also the perfect time for me to avoid my neighbor who constantly turns on her water pump. Sometimes she turns it on for 3 hours at one go, which is just so strange to me. But at least now she's also asleep. So we can record this episode. So the first thing I want to talk about is awards, because I have gotten a few tags on Twitter and Instagram for an award that this podcast and also myself have been nominated for. And there are awards that are here in Kenya, but from their page, it seems like it's a new organization and they're going to branch out into different parts of Africa as well. My relationship with awards where people have to vote for you is very non-existent. Like, I prefer if you recognize either work I've put in or something I've created and you celebrate that. I prefer those type of awards. I have grown not to like the ones where people have to vote for you. I remember when I had just joined Kiss FM, I was probably like 3-4 years into radio in total, and I got nominated for an award as most influential radio presenter, some tag. At the time I was super young, so I was super excited about it and rallied everybody to like vote for me and stuff like that. I didn't win. Okay, actually I was nominated for that particular award twice. So the first year I didn't win and the second year I didn't win. And the second year is when I was like, oh my God, this shit is really dodgy, because in the lead up to the awards, voting was still ongoing. The organizers reached out and they were like, oh, we want to come for an interview on your show. And I was like, wouldn't that affect the integrity of your awards? Like, that's a bit strange. And they had different sponsors, one of whom was like a cake house, a very well-known cake house in Kenya. They sent all the nominees cake, but they asked us to take a photo and share a photo of the cake on our socials. Curiouser and curiouser. And obviously at this point, it's the second year, so I'm older now. I'm less impressed with like tags and awards, and I'm thinking critically. So my first issue is data, because when you vote for an award, or for somebody to win the award they've been nominated in, you'll have to give some form of data. So either your email address or sometimes your phone number, you'll have to give that data. And maybe I sound like an old over inquisitive woman. I'm just like, what are you going to use that data for? And then the other thing is, because of the money to be made around awards, I wonder if you have placed me in that category because of the work that I do, or you've placed me there because of what you stand to gain. So I start questioning that. And this particular award that Legally Clueless and myself have been nominated for, they also have a category for fitness influencers. One of the nominees is a legend, Eliud Kipchoge. If you're not from Kenya, no, you must know him as well. That man is not a fitness influencer. That man is a legend. So when I saw that, I was just like, I don't know, guys. The integrity is a bit skewed. And then the final thing is this word influence. It's so strange to me. It's just so strange. It can be defined, yes, obviously. Like if you check the dictionary, you'll find a definition of it. But what is it? You know what I mean? Like what is it? And how do we quantify influence? And are we doing things because we want to influence? Or are we doing things because we're living our most genuine and real life? I don't know. I battle with those terms because the category this podcast was nominated for is most influential podcast. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is. And maybe I'm overthinking because I do that a lot, but I think these are fundamental issues for me. I'm much older now and I'm more aware of, if it's an award that I want to get, I really want it to be drenched in integrity and to be an award that I'm like, look at all the work that I put in and I was recognized for ABCD. I don't want it to be an award that even I'm questioning, you know? And then the other category that I was nominated in is social warrior. And I was just like, what the fuck is that? I really don't know what that is. Because, for example, I know I speak about sexual violence a lot and gender-based violence, zeroing in on rape. But that's because that's my lived reality and I don't want to get raped again. And the way we're approaching this issue and we're not solving things, the possibility of that happening is pretty high. I don't want anyone else to go through it. So I don't know if that's something worth awarding. I don't know, guys. Again, maybe I'm overthinking, but my best friend's boyfriend, he said, yeah, it's a bit strange, some of the categories, but it's nice to get recognized for these things. And I guess, yes, I could take pleasure in that, but I don't know if that's enough for me. Anyway, so there's that news that came in this week. Also, maybe my reaction to all of this is linked to the week that I've had that has just been strange as fuck. First, I think end year exhaustion is a thing. I'm feeling pretty burnt out. The exhaustion is not only physical. I feel like physical is easy to remedy. I'm feeling emotionally and spiritually and mentally exhausted. I'm trying to remember whether that happens every end year, but I'm feeling it. The end of this year, maybe because 2020 was hectic, but also I've like really worked hard. And then this is a year that I've been doing more on my own. So yes, of course you'll be tired, but hey, it's on a whole other level. And this week I felt it so hard. I even put like my work phone on do not disturb for the entire week. Who does that? I've not been getting phone calls for the entire week. Unless I want to speak to you, like your call won't even make it through. I've never ever had to do that, but I put it on do not disturb and then I forgot. And then 3 days later, I was like, actually, this is quite peaceful. Oh my God. Because what tends to happen is two things. When you're self-employed or running your own business, you want to say yes to every job that comes your way and pick up every phone call, because especially when it's December, because January is a dry month. So December, you try to maximize and make all your revenue in December so it can buffer you through January. So you tend to pick up all the phone calls. You tend to say yes to all the jobs, even the ones you're not really feeling. I don't know. I hope it's end year exhaustion plus my period, because it's very strange. Okay, let's jump into the song of the week. Oh my word, I really love the song. It is so beautiful. And I don't know why of late I'm really loving songs that are really meant for, like, you know, sex playlists. I think I'm just finding a lot of beautiful black R&B. You know that music, and I've said this in an episode before, that sounds and feels like that feeling when you're putting on your body butter on your skin, you know, or your shea butter. Does that make sense? I'm finding myself gravitating more towards music that feels or sounds like that. And more often than not, it's songs that you should put on like your sex playlist. This one is, oh, I just discovered her. I don't know why it took me such a long time to discover her. Alex Isley. Her voice is beautiful. And so on this song, it's her, it's Masego, and it's Jack Dine. The name of the song is Good and Plenty. It is so good. Even if it's not on like your sex playlist. Like I played while I'm cooking, while I'm writing poetry, although my poetry right now is a bit raunchy, so bad example, scratch that. While I'm just chilling, it's such a good song. It's such a good song, and I hope you like it as much as I do. I've put a link to it in the description of this episode. All right, let's jump into 100 African stories. The storyteller is Femi One, who is a rapper, a Kenyan rapper based in Kenya. If you check out the description of this episode, I've put a link to all her social media platforms and her YouTube. You need to check out her music. I've always really had such a soft spot for her. We met probably when I was interviewing her back in the day, and her energy has always been so real. So that's what I felt with her, and so I've always just had a soft spot for her, and I always wanted to record her for the podcast. So a couple of months ago I did, and it was so sweet. She came with a gift, chocolate and a cute little hoodie. She shared such a beautiful story about knowing and staying true to yourself, especially when it comes to the creative world, and a lot of other things. So I hope you enjoy Femi One's story. 100 African stories on Legally Clueless. Stories from Africa.
My name is Wanjiko Kimani, popularly known as Femi One, and I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. I was born and raised in Kasarani, Mwiki. I have an older brother and older sister. It was the three of us and our mom. I went to school, primary school, Morema Primary School, iko Kasarani, Santon, and that's where I started my musical journey. I have an older brother, so he used to really play hip-hop and reggae. So, you know, he's like the firstborn, so huwezi shika remote. Unajua tu kishika remote utapigwa, you'll be beaten. Sasa kwa nini ujilete kitu kama hiyo? So he used to play the music, and you know, you are what you feed on. So nikaanza kupenda, I started loving hip hop and reggae. So I started listening. When he's not there, I could tune in the channel East Africa TV, especially East Africa TV. They used to play a lot of hip hop, wakina Professor J, Kenya, uko flani, wenyeji and all. So I used to cram these songs kwa sababu now zinachezwa sana. Mpaka sasa unajipata tu umezijua bila hata wewe kujua. So when I go to school, I rap for guys. I rap Nazizi's verse, wenyeji's verse, wenyeji from uko flani. So I used to rap to this song, and I was really, really good at cramming and at delivering the same songs. So there was this friend of mine, her name is Samantha. We were like in class 6 or 7. She used to rap. There was this program called Maisa. I don't know if you know Maisa, Madare Youth Sports Association. So she was in this program. They were taking in kids from Islands, but Kasarani is not really Kasarani Ocha, uko Mwikini Ocha. They used to take kids who are talented. If you're playing football, you go play football. If you're dancing, you go dance. If you want to rap, there's a program for that. So there was this friend of mine. She was from, I've said Samantha, a very big shout out to Samantha. She was told, you know, there's this girl who really raps. Maybe you could be friends. So she took me to the program. Yeah, Maisa. And our mentors were wenyeji from uko flani. So we used to go there, we rap, we write songs on Saturday. That's on Saturday, and we're in primary school. Every Saturday we go there, we write songs, we rap. We are like so many kids from Kasarani, Kayole, Madare, Huruma. We used to call ourselves Islandos. So I've really grown up knowing my mom, you know. Our dad died in 97. I was 3 years. Yeah. We didn't really have a relationship with my dad because I was 3 years. I can't remember anything. I don't know him. Yeah. So I used to rap at home. Now our mom is the mother and the father. So hana yo time. Anatoka asubuhi, anarudi usiku by 9. Probably nimelala. You know, we really didn't have that time. Yeah, familiar. She used to take off on Sundays. But other than that, we were good. Like tukona everything. We have food food, shelter, we're going to school vizuri. So she used to support, like instead of me staying at home and engaging in these other activities. she was like, yeah, you're doing something instead of Saturday and Sunday uko home, unazurura huku kwa mtaa, you're doing something. So she actually used to give me bus fare because we used to go to Madare. That was the headquarter for Maisa. We used to meet there. So there was this platform called Wapi, Words and Pictures. It used to happen at British Council. So wenyeji, they would go there and they would beba us. So wakipewa platform, wanatupea pia sisi tuna rap. Actually, guys knew us from your time. Wapi watu wale watu wana rap, wale watu. We were like 13, tuko class 7, unaona? Lakini tuna rap, like tuna rap ukweli. Tuna rap. So tukiwa Wapi, wase walikuwa wanatujua. Like wale wase Calligraph alianzia Wapi, Octopizo tulimuona huko Wapi, King Kaka alikuwa yani Wapi was huge. It really created a very big platform for hip hop artists, especially hip hop artists. Yeah. So we went to high school, and now kila mtu tukaenda different high schools, but me and Samantha, because we are from the same hood, we used to keep in touch. Tukifunga shule, we meet up, we continue with what we do, we rap nini. I went to Gakarara. At that time it was Gakarara, but now it's St. Peter's. It's a boys' school. Yeah, it was that bad. So Moranga, it's in Kandara, a place called Kandara. But I really had a very high school nilikuwa poa because I was now the last born. My brother amemaliza, my sis is in sijui form 3, me I'm in form 1. My brother and sister, they went to day school. My mama anapenda kukua close na watoto wake, akona huruma sana, anaturumia. You know how moms are. So I was the first one to go to boarding school because I was the brightest, nilipita. So I went to boarding school. So I used to be given so much money. Yani nilikuwa na do. Nikifunga shule naenda na shopping home. Like nilikuwa na do. So high school nilikuwa tu sawa. Nilikuwa bado na rap. Mimi napenda kurap. Like nilikuwa tu bado na rap. Nimeenda hapo high school Moranga. Wase wanaona weni wa Nairobi wanakutreat different. Yani anyway, I used to still rap in high school, and then in like form 2 there was this chick who went to the library and then akapata gazeti yangu. Like tukiwa Wapi tulikuwa tunapigwa mapicha, tukifunga tunaenda tunaperform. So tukapigwa picha. There was this competition ya Chaguo Latinis, we won. Tukapigwa picha kwa gazeti, and it was kwa gazeti. And then this girl was like, "Oh, sini my first name, I won't mention it. Oh, sini nani Kemani. Wewe si Wanjiko Kemani." Kakuja kaniambia, "Hey." Alafu mimi I'm always like, even in public I can't really come and introduce myself as, me, I'm Femiwana mana. Mimi sinanga you. I'm always very cool, calm, and na kwanga tu nimetulia. That's when the school knew I actually rap. So I started rapping in high school pia. So people knew, the teachers knew, and teachers were high school were very, very supportive. Yeah, kuliko wa primary school. In primary school, the teacher akikai. And we really don't talk about this, but we really need to talk about how teachers they treat kids. My school teacher in primary school, alikuwa anaitwaje? Class teacher. Alikuwa anaona ni kama ile kitu nafanya ni mbaya. It's like my mom is neglecting me. When the class is over, ananiambia nibaki nyuma, anaanza kunihoji, "Why are you doing this?" And ni kuimba tu. Si ati there's something deep. Si ati ni child abuse. It's not child abuse. So in high school it was different. The teachers were really embracing it. So I cleared high school. Samantha got a family, and now I had to start the journey alone because now she has her family, she has her husband, and she's not really into this music. So I had to start alone. When I was leaving high school, I knew I wanted to do something with media, mass communication or something. But at that time, sikuwa najua I would really take my music career serious because I knew this is something I do part-time, I didn't knew I'd take that path. Yeah, so after I finished high school, that 1 year, aka break, alafu you go to college. So I reached out to this friend of ours, Eli Sketch. He's a very good rapper. So he took me in, he used to mentor me. We go to the studio, we record songs. And then after 1 year, I got a Facebook message from King Kaka. Yeah, Kaka used to see me at Wapi, like anajua mademo ana rap, watu wana rap, and he told me, "I have this song called Ligiso, I'd love you to do a verse."
That's when that
Yeah. in high school, I don't know where this come from, but people really see me as a leader. I used to be chosen as prefect, and then I was chosen as a head girl in high school. Lakini means I wasn't the snitch type. I was just you just do your thing. Mimi, I'm here to do my thing. Nisome niende home. I was at a conference. We used to do this conference for kids. I can't really remember the name, but when we close school, like 1 week, we go for these conferences. I was at Multimedia University. We had a conference there, and I got this text from King Kaka. I was excited, like King Kaka. He was big. He was like at his prime, you know. So I told this friend of mine, Ellie Sketch, because he was like my mentor then, my manager, So I told him, King Kaka has reached out. He wants me. He told me this is good, Nini. After I was done with my conference, we recorded. Kaka told me, me, I like your verse, Nini. I'm really not the talkative type. Like I'm very reserved. So at first, Kwanzaa, when I came into, I was very shy. I wasn't talking to anyone. So I go to the studio. I meet Petra. Petra was recording her verse as well, and Kaka and Provoke. So Mimi, I just chill there. I stay quiet. I wait for my turn. I record and I go home. And after I went home, Kaka texted me. He told me, I really like your verse. Your verse is very, very dope. And then after like some few weeks, we shot the video. It was released, and guys really loved my verse. And after like 1 year, Kaka reached out with his manager Dennis, and they told me, we have a plan, we would like to sign you. And that's how I got signed to Kaka Empire. I wasn't really scared. Mimi nilikuwa najua nimeomoka, but it was kumbe ndio safari ilikuwa inaanza aki. Me, I knew I was set. You know, I really didn't have a picture of how the industry works. Me, I knew it's you record song, you do a video, it hits, you go back to the studio, you record another one, it hits, and you are live, and you are just successful just like that. So me, I knew, this is something. And at that time, pia, my mom was really, alikuwa ananipima, ananiangalia na anashinda, what do you want to do with your life? Do you want to go to college or university, or you want to do this? So when I got signed to Kaka Empire, they used to give me monthly allowance. So I was like 20, 21, but I had my money. Me, I was set. Unaona sitishi mom doya nguo or doya bus fare or anything. So she premiered me, and she was like, I think she realized that I know what I want. Like I have my life set up, like niko sawa. So she was comfortable with it. She really didn't push me to go to college. Sijui do nini. Yeah, so I started recording with Kaka Empire. Alafu unajua at that time we had labels, but Kaka Empire was starting. Yeah, I was the first artist they signed. Yeah, so it was something walikuwa wana put together, tuna figure out vitu pia together. Yeah, so it was like a journey for them and a journey for me as well. I was like a pick me when I came into the industry. I was really scared of what people would think of me, and I had really bad anxiety. Ile kitu ilikuwa inanipatia anxiety, wasiwasi. I was always scared. When I get an interview, I'm always like, what will I say? If I say something wrong, people will hate me, they will judge me. So I wasn't really opening up. When I get shows, anxiety kicks in. What if I perform vibaya? What if people boo me? And you get these bad negative thoughts. I had really bad anxiety because I want people to like me. I'm in the public eye. But with time I came to realize it's not everyone who will like you. And there will always be people who will hate for no reason, and I think it's a journey, it's a process, and that's why people say respect the process or respect the journey, because I think it builds character. Because right now I think people think like I'm cocky or I'm rude, and it's not like that. It's just me, I'm over these things. Me, there's nothing you can tell me. Me, I don't care what people think about me. I used to post pictures, I go check comments. If someone has said negative thing, I delete. I don't care, by the way. I may sound arrogant or ignorant, but yeah, it's a journey. It is what it is. And I think people should understand that it's a journey. You get into this thing not knowing so many things, and the more you are in it, the more you get to understand it, and the more you get to understand how people are. You understand that people not liking you, it's not on you, it's not your burden to carry. You just focus on the good, and the good is kuna watu wengi sana. On the negative ones, need a few people, and they will always be there. yeah, yani you have to live with it and understand it. I think with me it happens when I get the news, like you have a performance on this day and pressure, gas, imeja. 2 days, like 3 days to the performance, to the interview, I get to relax. Now I take it in, and I'm just like, me, I can do this thing, I can do it. I prepare myself. I think with myself is all about preparation. Yeah, I prepare myself. So when the D-Day comes, I'm there. I'm always asking my manager, do you know me? Will I manage this? Go sawa. You know, I need those affirmations, and I just do my thing. I think with the anxiety and the pressure, it makes you doubt yourself. It makes you and I feel like I've lost so many opportunities because of that, because unaji question saa yote, uko na wasiwasi, uko na anxiety, and I think I've lost so many opportunities because of not believing in yourself, because you are in front of people, how you interact with people, unaogopa, uko na wasiwasi, how will people think of me? You're not going there with confidence. I think Tipito was my first commercial song, and it did very, very, very well. I got really so many shows after that, and after Tipito I was trying to look for another Tipito, and I think that's where most artists go wrong. When I go to the studio, I record, I'm like, no, this haiwezi. I record another one, I'm like, no, mi natafuta hit song, mi natafuta Tipito, and it's hivyo, it's not like that. So by the time I'm realizing, wow, what am I doing? I haven't released music in 1 year, like, so I have to start again. Guys, do you remember me? Mi ni Femi wa Tipito, mnanikumbuka? So I think it was hard. So I had to come back again. I do rap songs. And with me, I have always been, from the days of Wapi, because people knew me as a rap artist, as a cypher artist, ule mdemu ama freestyle. So I had to break from that to actually being an artist who can actually write songs, good songs, and kids can sing along to these songs, and the older people can sing along to. And it took me so many years and hard work, and there was always people trying to, manzezi mina penda ule Femi wan ule. There's always people who want you to remain the same. I think it really dragged me down, because I had fans from back then who were like, no, what is this you're doing? We want the Femi wan, the rapper, and people don't really understand it. It's very hard for a rapper, a freestyler, a cypher artist, or a rapper to make that transition to being an actual musician. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time. Every now and then you have to revolve as an artist with the music you're making. You have to outgrow, you try new things. Yeah, and I think that's also something that really dragged me down. And King Kaka, if he tells me no, I know like he wants the best for me. He's in my team. Like akisema no, najua he wants the best for me, and he can't awezi kubali I put something out there that is not up to par or up to quality. So with him, it's always with concerning music, like how do you feel this song, we should shoot this one, and he's like, no, you need to do this and this. So with him, I think it wouldn't even bother me if he says no. Yeah, but with other artists in the industry, nimekula wano mingi sana hapa nje. Kusema ukweli, let me tell you, I was once in a song. I was featured in a song. I did the video, I did the verse, and they pulled out my verse in that song because I was the only person doing it in Sheng. And at that time, it really didn't click to me that this was classism. You know, nilikuwa tu like, maybe verse yangu ni mbaya, maybe. And I was like, and a few years later, because I was new, I was like 22, 20. And a few years later, niko like, guy, yani hawa wale nifanya hivi. Wako serious. They called us, and they were like, you know, Femi didn't fit in, sijui nini. Nilikuwa like, ni sawa anyway. And a few years, juicy, I actually tweeted about it when there was this Sheng conversation going on. And I was, guys, these people did me wrong, Aki. But you know, with me, I've always known I'm good. Like, and me doing it with Sheng, ata kwa ligi, so I was the only person doing it in Sheng. I knew this is me. This is me. I've grown up speaking in Sheng, speaking in Kiswahili. I can't fake to be another person. Ati nianze kurapapa na Kizungu. It's not who I am. And there's so much power in being who you are. the right people will love you for who you are, and ni iko tu hivyo, and I've seen it with especially me, because I've never wanted to be anyone else apart from me. And I think with that imenifungulia a lot of opportunities, and that's why even after so many after Ligiso, I think I'm the only female artist who is still doing it. So yeah, walinitwanga kwa hiyo ngoma but you know, with artists, when we meet we talk, hey, niaje tufanye song, tufanye, and then you don't talk for another 2 years. You meet again, it's we do something, yeah, we should, yeah, and then you don't meet. So it really doesn't bother me. Yani, I think nimekubali watu kusema no. And this is very interesting, by the way. When I first reached out to Major, it was before I did Tipito, I was rapping, and I was like, man, I really need to get my music out there in clubs. I'm going to clubs, I'm listening to others people music, and I'm like, kwa nini mziki yangu haichezwi kwa clubs? And my management told me, you need a commercial song. And at that time, akina nani walikuwa wanachezwa kwa club sana? The council. So I reached out to Major and I told him, yo, Major, I'd love to work with you. And he was like, no, right now, no, the type of music you're doing haitaingiana na my style. And I was like, okay, and sawa. A few years later, I did Tipito, and I was at home. Major was doing an interview, and he was asked, ni mziki gani mnasikiza say? And he was like, yo, mi napenda Tipito. And I was like, yes, now it's the time, you know. So I reached out to him. So you know, part of people saying no. Sometimes, like, Major, I understood, like, even me, say, you can't really reach out to me uniambia you want to do a song with me. I have to listen to your songs. If I feel you're not ready, I'll just tell you you're not ready. Maybe we do this a few years later. I don't really take it negatively. Yeah, I don't really take it unless you're really looking down upon me or unanitreat vibaya, then I will take it negatively. When I was new, I was like, man, I'm a chick, you know, with a guy who speaks Sheng or does his music in Sheng, anaonekana ako sawa, like it's what he's supposed to do. Even with us female rappers, we don't get equal opportunities because the society feels like it's a man's job, it's not a female's job. Yeah, I've been to those instances where people look down upon you, and then with time, and especially now with Gengeton, with everything, people now realize, wow, this thing is really working. Because in Kenya, we are a Sheng speaking nation, you know, we speak Kiswahili, it's who we are, it's our identity. And now they wanna come back to us, and they're like, hapa ndio mali wase wako, hawa ndio wako na numbers, they have the numbers, they have the people, we need them. It's like now they realize that, they start reaching out to you. Utawezana, we recorded the song in January, and we shot the video a few weeks later, and then COVID happened, and my manager was like, yo, Femi, we can't release this song now, let's just wait and chill. Like every other artist, everyone was like, just let's wait and see what will happen next. And at that time, my manager told me, go to the studio, because I really felt like my fans and the audience really needed content from me. So I went to the studio, I did a freestyle about COVID, and I put it out. It really went viral. And my manager was like, yo, you're very, very visible. We should release Utawezana. I was like, no, Mimi Yongoma, I knew it would hit. And I was scared of it being overshadowed by COVID. So I was like, no, me Ngoma, I tatui waste, tulieni. And he was like, Femi, this is it. And nikasema, you know what, let me just take this risk. So we put the song out. And in the back of my mind, because I knew the schools were closed, guys were not going to work, everyone was on panic mode, people started discovering TikTok and doing challenges because everyone is idle. In the back of my mind, I was like, okay, let's release it. I have a plan of how we will push this song. So when the song was out, I told guys, yo, do the challenge, send me. But I knew this song would be good. It was very, very good. I knew it would hit in Kenya, especially in Kenya. Like, Kenyans love that content. Yeah. I knew it would be good, and it was something different. It was a conversation, you know. The creativity was on point, everything was on point. So I told people, send me the challenges. On the first day, I got so many videos. Yeah. I post. On the fourth day, the song went viral, and I got so many. Yani simu yangu hata sikuwa na simu. I had an iPhone 6 ilikuwa ina overheat. No, na simu itanilipukia aki, because I'm posting over 100 videos in a day, and they are coming in. And I got this call from a Tanzanian presenter. The song was trending on number 33. I had bad anxiety. Ananipigia ananiambia, yo, your song is trending on number 33. I was like, no, I'm not doing interviews. Let me call you back. I was on panic mode. I didn't really know. My phone is blowing up, and I don't know. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for the outcome. I cooled down. I started taking interviews in TZ, Uganda, and Utawezana is like the first song from East Africa. It was trending on the same time in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. And it was big, it was massive, and it was the first song to hit in Tanzania after 10 years. Yeah. No, Kenyan song, to be that big in Tanzania. The last time a Kenyan song was that big in Tanzania is 10 years ago, and it's DNA Banjuka. So it was very big. Watanzania walikuwa wanashanga, who is this? How is this happening? So it was very, very big, and I was just happy. I didn't really celebrate or buy a cake at go out because COVID happened, but I was happy. Like, actually people were giving me so much attention right now after all the years I've put in. People are interested in my music, people are interested in my brand. I think that was a win for me, and I was very happy. Utawezana was like 6 million in like 1 month. It's something that has never happened in Kenya. For it to happen for me, it means like I've really worked for it, and God is showing up for me right now. I was just happy, like all the years I've put in work. So with my experience with Tipito, let's go back there. Yeah. I was looking for another hit song like Tipito, and after 1 year I realized I haven't put out content out because I'm looking for a hit song, and it doesn't work that way. You just put out content, whatever music hit, wacha hit, and yeah, hit, wachana nayo, go back to the studio, record another one, release music. And I think I learned from that. So with Utawezana, I didn't have any pressure. Honestly speaking, guys were telling me, will you ever record another song after me? I'm not looking for a hit song, Aki. I just want to be consistent and release music out there. And music that I know, I do good music. If you see me releasing music, I know it's good. Whether it hit ni sawa, iki hit ni sawa, isipo hit pia ni sawa. I go back to the studio, I record another one, I release. That's my goal right now, to stay consistent and to release more music. I don't have any pressure at all. I think I've been there and I learned from that. Yeah. One thing I fear is failure. Yeah, especially being a failed artist. I want to make money out of my music and live off my music. So there's achievements like with my career. I opened up for Tiny Temper. I opened up for Tiny Temper years ago at Jamison Live. That's big for me. I performed at Boiler Room. Yeah, that's also very big for me. I did Trace Live. I was featured on Remy Martin campaign. I feel like I've achieved a lot. Utawezana, 10 million in like, it's sijui in how long. The first song to hit in Tanzania after 10 years, to trend in Uganda. Uganda, it's like they are in their own country, they speak their own language, their music. With Kenya and Tanzania, we speak Kiswahili, so to understand. And I feel like I've really achieved a lot, especially with like the language I use in my music. I'm very comfortable and I'm proud of who I am, and I know there are people who will love me for that. But with music, I'll always go back to hip hop because that's where I started. So I'll do these pop songs, I'll do these commercial songs, but I'll always go back to hip hop. It's balance, and I think my next song will show people like I can still rap, I can still speak about issues that are affecting the society. So for me, it's about balancing, especially with we female artists. The industry is male dominated, one, so we don't really get so much opportunities as the male artists, and also most of the gatekeepers are men. Yeah, but with me, I think I haven't really experienced that so much because of my management, Kaka Empire. There's that bridge. They are like the middle people. They reach out to the producers. We want our artist, we want to come to your studio, and then me, I go. But there haven't really been those instances, because I also love working with people I've started from the scratch with, like my producer Rico Beats tumeanza from way, way, way back. So we've really grown together. He understands me, I understand him. He's like now my friend. So we do this thing together. But I've also worked with other producers who have really frustrated me. Just find someone mwenye anakuelewa, someone you will grow together with, and do your thing with him. The only thing I regret is not believing in myself so much when I was new in the industry. Yeah, that's all. Because I feel like I missed so many opportunities and my journey took so long. That's all. With me, Adele, I understand this thing is a journey. It's a journey. And you have to you have to go through certain things to understand certain things. With creatives na feel ni kama sisi wote we have anxiety and pressure. It's like there's no sane creative like mwenye ako tu sawa naishi normal life. I don't know what mpaka it's like it's normal, like it's and it shouldn't. I also feel like it's not si ulemavu na si upungufu. It's not something that you should be ashamed of. Yeah, just embrace it, and it's a journey. With time itapungua. With time itapungua. You just know how to deal with things, and it's not something to be ashamed. The words that I live by are believe, become. Yeah, because if you believe in yourself, like I always knew I'd amount to something. I always knew mziki itanipeleka mahali, and I believed in that, and that's I put in work and I leave the rest to God. And also something that I've learned, God is very fair. There's no way you can be putting in work for 3 years, 5 years, and they go down the drain just like that. You just keep working. Your day will come.
Catch more African stories in the next episode of Legally Clueless. Oh man, I really enjoyed that story. It's so funny how she was like, oh, I've gotten so many no's in this industry. And I love that she talked about handling rejection. I think I did an episode about that, especially as I branched off to start doing my own thing, and you pitch to a company and they either just ghost you or say no. Weh. It's not easy to navigate. What is so crazy is that people would actually erase her from a song just because of the language she speaks. And it's just so shameful. You know what I mean? So shameful. Ooh, I also like the part where she talks about anxiety that comes not when things are not going right or maybe like sparked off by fear of failure, but like when things are going really well. And I have to do my research on that, and maybe I'll ask my therapist, because maybe it's linked to imposter syndrome. I think I feel that a bit, where if things are going right and something great has been achieved and people congratulate me or reach out to either talk about that particular thing, I really want them to stop. It becomes such an overwhelming feeling that it morphs into anxiety, which I must say again, I have been diagnosed with it. So because some of these terms are used very loosely, and that could actually be not a good thing. So if you do feel like you have certain symptoms and you have access to a trained professional, it would be good just to go in. There's some comfort that comes when you can attach a name to a feeling that you're feeling. I felt that comfort once I had a name for my anxiety. Before, oh man, first there was a point I thought it was ulcers. Because there was a point my anxiety would only manifest as like gut issues, and my stomach would just be in pain. I was so sure I had ulcers. And then, you know, the sweats, the feeling like you can't breathe. I actually felt that last night, right before hosting a Moth main stage. You feel like a tissue or something has been... I know that sounds so weird, but like something is obstructing you from, and your body from, receiving air, and there's nothing. So you can imagine going through that, not knowing what it is, and the panic that comes with that. And then the peace of mind when you're told, A, you're not losing your mind, B, there is a name for this, and C, there's a way to cope with it. So I do advocate for actually going in if you feel like you have certain symptoms, and not just attaching certain words to conditions. Which is funny, because I'm that person who, whenever I feel any now physical issues with my body, I am those people who go to WebMD so quickly. By the time I'm going to see my doctor, I'm just like, hey, sir. So I've just read I have 22 hours left if you don't do ABCD. And my doctor normally just laughs and he's like, it's so hectic. And what's cool is that one of my doctors currently actually knew my mom and says that my mom was as inquisitive as I am, and I ask very many questions just like she did. And you know what? That's how she raised us. But wow, I have really sidetracked from Femi One's story. back to what I was saying. When she talks about anxiety that comes when things are great, I really felt that because I was like, oh, sis, I hear you. I hear you on that note. So make sure you check out her music. I have put a link to all of her pages in the description of this episode. She's an awesome human being. So real. Has not changed since I met her. And I hope you dig her music as well. So I have, because as I started off this episode by saying, I have been experiencing like some level of exhaustion or something. I don't know what it is, but just it basically led to me not checking the hotline on the days that I'm meant to, but I'm going to get back on that this week. So what the hotline number is where you can send your story demo in case you want to share your story on this podcast. All you have to do is just record a 1-minute voice note on WhatsApp telling me a bit about the story you want to share. And then when you send it to the hotline, we'll talk about it a bit and set a date and time where I can record your story virtually. So wherever you are in the world, I can record your story. And the hotline number is +254. I still haven't memorized it. 768-628-790. That is also the number you can, if you hear something you relate with on this podcast and you want to chit chat about it, you can send me a voice note about that to the hotline number as well.
My name is Maggie and I just listened to episode 69 where I heard you play someone's voice note. And I thought this is something I really like to do, to tell you how much I enjoy listening to your episodes. For this period that we've all been home, most of us who've been able to stay home, my life has really changed. And not only because of COVID, but generally this year, my life has really changed. I lost a lot of friends and it's just been a period of reshaping, restructuring, learning to, build from where I am and move forward. It's not been easy. So when I hear people's stories of how they overcame impossible situations, very different people from, different places, such a variety of stories, it helps me normalize the narrative of how it's okay to be okay, to not be okay, I mean. And even when you talk about the things you go through in your life, your day-to-day struggles, the big ones and the small ones, it really encourages me. Even when you're able to laugh through, you really like laughing. And I find that it's amazing how you're able to laugh through the struggles and the pain, because at the end of the day, that's really what makes life beautiful. Life is imperfect. And yeah, I just want to thank you for helping me go through this period. Mine was just to appreciate you and to tell you how much I enjoy what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Maggie. I am so happy that you resonate with this podcast, with the stories, and even with my bits. I remember when I started the podcast and I made this mistake. Okay, it's not a mistake, but you know how I always say that I want to interact with everybody who's talking about the podcast? Sometimes it goes horribly wrong. And there was this one guy who was like, oh, I like the podcast, but Adele talks too much. And I was just like, oh my God, what? Okay, maybe I need to just shut up and go directly into the story or whatever. And I had to catch myself and be like, wait, we left traditional radio to create a space where you can do what feels right with you. You can be as genuine and honest every week, and you can create a space that is comfortable, warm, and happy for you first as Adele, because traditional radio was not that for me for 10 years. It was not that. So I had to catch myself and remind myself that please don't people please do what feels right with you. And you're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. Just as Femi once said, actually, that's okay. And so when I do get audio notes or chats where somebody's like, oh, I remember you said ABCD, how is this going? Or I completely agree with this, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, so they actually listen to what I'm saying. Where this live. But thank you so much, Maggie. I really do appreciate your voice note. And yeah, you can send yours too on the hotline number. So again, if you're new to this podcast, there's new episodes every single Monday, and I am not taking a Christmas break from the episodes. If you take a break from listening, that's okay. The episodes will be there when you resume in January. That's fine. Another thing, when we hit episode 100, I am not ending the podcast on that episode. I've seen a few tweets about that and I'm just like, I didn't say that. I didn't even allude to it. We're having so much fun. Why would we stop now? So no, that's not gonna happen. I guess the 100 African story feature will now just mean hundreds of African stories or some lame thing like that. Oh, and then remember, you can catch this podcast on Trace Radio if you're in Kenya every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. and at 8 p.m. Just go to traceradio.co.ke for the list of frequencies. That's it for this episode of Legally Clueless. You can share this podcast with your friends. You can keep it for yourself. I'm not judging. Just make sure you're here next week for the next episode.